What's up, people?
So, confirm this experience.
You guys digging the theme? Okay.
Thanks for joining the experience.
What's up? Come on, beach. With the serious.
We're killing all the haters out there today.
Right. Nuke 'em.
Down with the haters.
We are nuking the island of irrelevance. While we drink our haterade over here.
You guys are also.
Anybody else drinking haterade?
Thanks for joining the experience.
Welcome, guys. I'm excited about this episode. Theme song's rocking, bro.
Killing the haters. Hate on.
It's actually our brother Joe who wrote the song. Thank you, Joe, for the theme.
Yeah, thank you, Joe Gaines, for the theme.
Make sure you guys give him a follow on TikTok and YouTube.
Give him a follow and a hollow.
Deeper than a holler.
Yeah. So, Patrick, how's your day going?
What's up, Josh? I'm doing good, man. Doing real good. It's been very productive and glad to see the sun being a mainstay because we had felt like 90 days of rain up until early July. It's crazy. So,
Yeah, for like 3 months it was just nothing but rain every day. Every day.
But then you got floods, out in Texas and North Carolina and Mississippi, so I'm counting our blessings at the same time,
Of course. I mean, but on the flip side, the sun is hot here in Georgia. But luckily we're in North Georgia, not South Georgia, right?
That's right, North Georgia mountains, baby.
That's what I'm saying. North Georgia mountains. It's a little cooler here than South Georgia. At least you don't have all the gnats and the mosquitoes like they do.
Man, I feel like South Georgia is like part of Florida in a way.
Basically, it's kind of like the stepbrother of Florida,
Yeah.
or something. It's kind of like the,
It's like Georgia and Florida mixing there.
because like mid Georgia down in that area, it's like because you don't have any. You're not really close to the ocean. You're not really close. It's kind of like a desert with
Grass.
grass.
And some trees and some hope. There's a pocket of hope somewhere down there.
There's a lot of how did I say?
There are lakes and there is deer hunting. There's plenty of land to deer hunt on. That's for sure.
Plenty of land to farm. It's flatter than what you can get, So, but talking about farming, let's talk about jobs and what kind of jobs we might like to have and might not want to have.
Yeah, no kidding. What a great subject. That's what I'm excited to talk about today, guys. Some of us may take our current situation for granted, and we look back on previous good jobs or bad jobs, and you gotta ask yourself, where am I? Like at some point in your life, you pray for where you're at now, even though you might not be exactly where you want to be, because we all strive for more and more in life. But sometimes it's good to just stop and reflect a little bit.
Yeah. because any job's better than no job. I mean, of course, and and depending on the government to take care of you, that's no.
They'll starve you to death.
Yeah, that's no kind of life. So, but I guess my favorite job, of course, would be podcasting. Hello.
Yes, sir. We doing it, baby.
And I love art, so that would be one of my favorite jobs. And I love music, which I'm not a great musician, but that would be something I would love to do.
Yeah, and you're out there networking and, like-minded people who truly respect your, efforts and talents where, it might be, for instance, as a Pepsi driver, you're expected to drive a truck. You're not expected to do artwork,
Yeah. Well, and
Not disrespecting anybody as a Pepsi driver, but sometimes, having hidden talents can take a little while to discover.
and too, if you work for a company, I mean, it's you have to give to that company. I mean, you have to,
Qualifications and
if you want to work there, so you have to, be obligated to them in aspects where, because they depend on you, and that's why they're giving you a paycheck. So if you get a regular job like everybody, go to work and try your best, and I mean, I know sometimes it don't always work out, but while you're there at a job, your obligations are to work and fulfill your duties within that job, no matter what that job is, because you took on the role of that job. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And, a lot of times you may kind of disagree with how the processes or the due diligence is expected. But at the end of the day, you got to remind yourself this, especially if you don't run your own business, this is somebody else's business. And you have to respect the fact that they're paying the bills, they're paying for the roof over your head, and they're giving you food on the table. And that's just, for me, sometimes job security overrides, your passion, depending on, where you can excel in certain hobbies or hidden talents don't always pay the best. So those that do make it with their talents, we say congratulations, kudos. But what I've learned is being more open-minded to opportunities and learning and being around people that are smarter than you or more experienced in a certain field. And that kind of gives you a different avenue and a new skill set to add on your resume.
Exactly. I mean, you have to be willing to learn, even if it's uncomfortable, and it puts you in a situation where you're not familiar with, and it makes you uncomfortable. But that's how we grow in life, is to be in uncomfortable situations, and that's how we figure things out. And if you guys out there have supervisors, bosses, and y'all give them a hard time, they're just doing their job too, just like y'all are. And if you work for a company, guess what? Every one of those people that work for that company are working for a paycheck to go home, to feed their families, to take care of their kids, their wife, their basic needs. And life is tough enough as it is. Because like if you're in retail and say you have a customer yelling at you, no one likes that. And that's the same thing when you're yelling at your boss. You know, your boss is, and now not in every case, but most cases, if they're professional, you know, they're trying to do the best for what's, you know, needs to be done. And, you know, but in most cases, you know, a level head prevails. You know.
Yeah, soft-spoken words usually will deteriorate or diffuse any tension. Unfortunately, you know, not everyone is going to, you know, click. Not everyone is going to understand each other's perspectives. A lot of times, unfortunately, people will judge you within the first 10 seconds that they meet you, because they say first impressions mean the most, and that's stuck in their head forever. It don't matter what the circumstances are. You could do 1,000,000 great things, but that one thing that they disagree with is going to outweigh the million good things that you've accomplished. And for anyone that's been in those situations, you know, sometimes you just wipe your hands clean and walk away and say you did the best you can. I just feel like, you know, we live in such a society, especially here in America, you know, where image is so important, where sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know, and also it's not, sometimes you can look the part and you get the part, but not necessarily have the experience. But from my perspective in life, I've learned to treat everyone with fairness, and that's only got me so far in life. But at the end of the day, though, I'm not affecting anyone's pay, so my quality of life is pretty awesome, and my, you know, relationship with God is very personal. But I couldn't ask for a better. Behind closed doors is where my safe place is, because my integrity is intact, and I have no regrets, because I don't feel like I have to step on toes to accomplish what I need to accomplish.
Yeah, and go back on that a little bit, where you were talking about, you know, the first impressions. The way I always think about that is, and this might be a weird way to think about it, but if you were that kid that crapped your pants in second grade, third grade, you will always be that kid that crapped his pants. You know, so, you know, just think of it as like, you know, when you're meeting somebody, am I that kid crapping my pants?
Hey, you're in everyone's memory, though, forever.
Yeah, you are.
I mean, at the time, it was embarrassing, but, you know, 30, 40 years later, you might be in someone's great memory.
Yeah.
They might have a bad day and think of you, and you gave that person a little bit of hope and light, you know?
But what I was saying is, you know, people have that mentality where it's like, you know, the kid probably couldn't help if they crapped their pants, right? But it was like, that's how it is, you know.
Oh, yeah.
They can love you forever. You crap your pants one time, then you're the pants crapper, you know,
Yeah.
forever. So,
Diaper boy.
oh, diaper boy.
Yeah. So, Josh, outside of the podcast, you know, if you could, I wouldn't say rewrite history, but maybe within the next year, if there was an opportunity come your way, and, you know, what is something you would really inspire to kind of accomplish or pursue if, you know, other avenues open up for you?
We're doing it now, baby.
Yeah! The Experience podcast. So,
So I'm putting into play things now that I might not know necessarily what I'm doing most of the time, but I just know I want to do something, and you can't do anything if you're sitting in a lazy boy 24 hours a day, you know, watching, you know, movies or whatnot. You have to get up and, I mean, if you have a dream, if you have thoughts, you want to do things, most people, they're their own worst enemy, right?
Oh, yeah.
They kill their own dreams by listening to other people and not doing. And I mean, granted, sometimes people don't know what to do because they don't know where to start. They don't know, but you start inch by inch, like they say, inch by inch, anything's a cinch. So, what you do, you start with one thing, you figure that out, go to the next thing, you figure that out. When I started painting, I mean, I could draw pretty good growing up, you know, but when I started painting, it wasn't natural to me as much as drawing, and there's a lot of things I had to learn along the way. I'm self-taught, but it's a lot of stuff that is trial and error, and that's, you know, that's with everything. If you want to get out there and, I mean, yeah, people can write books, this is how you do it, but everybody's situation is different.
And mindset.
Yeah, and
Also.
mindset, yeah.
You know, I will say this: my current career outside of the podcast, I have learned to be more open-minded from other personalities and other perspectives that I never even thought about. So I'll take that experience and apply it to every day of my life for the rest of my life.
I mean, if you're just going to be a closed door constantly and expect things to fall in your lap, that's not the way it happens. You know, you have to put, okay, if you can vision it, you can do it. It may not be exactly the way you see it, and it may not exactly happen the way you want it to, but if you, it'll fall into place if you just keep working at it. I mean, with this podcast ring, we started out
With a mirror.
with a mirror here and with hardly any kind of anything but the cell phone
Two
stuff.
stools.
And we're still working on trying to get our, you know, get more to make it more like a studio and all this stuff. But it's a learning process, and I wish I could say that, you know, things do happen overnight, but they don't. And what's great about that, once you learn, the good thing about the learning process of anything is you learning it, and you'll know it if you ever want to do it again, or if you just want to continue doing it, if you want to help someone else out. You know, I mean, if it all fell in your lap and it was like, here, just like for instance here, like somebody said, here's a studio for you, go in and make video. You know, it's just wouldn't be the same.
So yeah, so pouring into a dream, possible career, it's not only grassroots, it's also authentic. It's not a corporation type deal where, you know, so and so's investing here and there, and you know you got such a standard and practices to follow. Like, we literally on the podcast started literally from the bottom, and it was all done on purpose because, you know, one day we can reflect and look back and be an example of what the American dream is truly about.
Yeah, and in the future there's going to be changes, and there's going to be new things added and things taken away, and you know, but we're going to be the same people. But hopefully, you know,
Hopefully better people.
yeah. So, and that's one thing we try to promote on our podcast is harmony and good vibes, and you know, just
Bringing people together from
bringing people
different
together.
cultures.
different cultures, laughter. I mean, whatever story anyone wants to bring on, whether it's good, bad, sad, or happy, it's that's what we're here for, is to let people talk and get their story out there, because a lot of people don't get to tell their story. And and it's interesting to me what someone else has went through, because we went through a lot in our lives also, and not so good times a lot of times, and it's just interesting to see how other people grew up and listening to what their issues were, and see if you have anything in common, anything similar going on. And if not, there's somebody always out there that can use that information for something. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of in a very brief rundown here, my current career, I actually enjoy what I do, and it has nothing to do with what I do for a living, but I wanted to be a professional wrestler. And the reason I wanted to be a professional wrestler, someone like Hulk Hogan, John Cena, Sting, just name a few, is because they had an outreach to children.
Yeah.
So the outreach that they have, the Make-A-Wish Foundations, I have that community platform to where I'm able to not only keep in touch with my community, I network in a way that not only benefits myself, but it also benefits many people, because if someone has a resource or a business that someone else is looking for, I can connect those two. And that happens almost weekly to daily. And, I feel like me having the reputation of being a reliable source, I have a responsibility. And that responsibility is to have that name recognition within my community. So, if something does go awry, people are going to actually believe, hey, this is what really happened.
Yeah.
So, it's not, Patrick's so perfect or he's this angel. No. Everybody knows I'm not an angel. But at the same time, as far as my professional career goes, I hope that I'm reliable, hard worker, and respected by my peers, but also trusted with the public.
Yeah, and that's a great way to be, and I think that's a great way to wrap up the show. So if you want to check us out on Spotify, YouTube, under Joshua Gaines, and you can also catch us live on TikTok and YouTube, usually on Thursday nights, and Google us. You can find us through Google also.
Yeah, check out the Google searches, guys. Especially in the AI mode. AI mode.
Thank you guys for joining. We love you.
Coast.
Come back.
Episode 15. Wisdom experience. Catch us on the live, guys.